Hi, we're going to be talking about art, and we're going to talk about lines in art. Line is the very fundamental building block of most art projects. Most projects start with a line. Maybe it can be an outline, maybe it's straight lines, curvy lines. There's all different kinds of lines. Zigzag, explosive lines. Think of like the rays of a sun that come down. So many different kinds of lines. But for this project, we're really going to just focus on geometric lines. And a geometric line is a very straight, very precise line. And that's why we're going to be using a tool today, a ruler, to make our lines nice and straight and nice and even. A geometric line is kind of the opposite of an organic line. Organic means soft, curved, free-flowing, usually made by nature, so made by God. Think of the bark of a tree, or if you've ever seen a tree get cut in half and you have all those rings. Okay, none of them are quite the same, none of them are straight. Then think of the opposite, which would be like this brick wall behind me, where all the lines are perfectly spaced, perfectly even, and if they're not, that wall's not going to stand up. It has to all be exactly the same and exactly perfect. So that would be an example of a geometric lines. What we need today is a ruler, a piece of paper, square piece of paper, and a marker. It can be any kind of marker. It can be a Sharpie, it can be a colored Crayola marker, or you could use colored pencil, or you could even just use an ink pen. That would be perfectly fine. I'm going to suggest just being bold and using your marker right away, not doing it in pencil first and then tracing it in marker, just because it's going to be a really big time saver, and because we're using the ruler, all your lines should be nice and straight. Just take your time. This isn't a race. We're not trying to go fast. We're trying to do it precise and be neat. So your piece of paper, mine is poster board, so it's a little bit heavier. The first thing we have to start with is dividing our square into 3 sections, so that's with using 2 lines. I made my lines on a diagonal. You could make your lines straight. It's a little more interesting if you do a diagonal, but it's totally up to you. And I made 2 of my lines come to the same side, and then these 2 sides have no lines, but I could have made it straight, so it would be more of a T. It's totally up to you. You do not have to copy me or do something similar to me. Now I'm going to move the iPad, and hopefully it will stay so that you can see the next step. And you'll be able to see what I'm doing. So now that we have our paper divided into 3, we're going to pick just one section. So I'm going to pick this one right here. It's kind of the biggest. And I'm always going to go, do you know what clockwise is? So clockwise is like if 12 is up here, and then it'd go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I'm always going to be moving like a clock. So this is my first line, so now I'm going to go over here because that's clockwise. So now I'm just going to trace, and the edge of my paper, I'm considering it like a line. So I'm going from my first original line, parallel to my next line, which is the edge of my paper, all the way until I get to another line, which is the edge of the paper. Now I'm going to twist and go to my next line and go from the line I just made, so not the edge of the paper, the line I just made, draw straight until I get to another line, which in this case is the edge of my paper. And now I'm going to twist and start at the line I just drew and draw until I get to a line, which was my original line. So now I have this. Don't pick it up though, because now we have to twist. Now I'm going to twist and parallel with this line, my original line. I'm going to draw from the line I just made, parallel, and stop when I get to a line. Twist, draw, twist,
draw, twist, draw, twist, and I'm always going parallel, twist, from the line I just made, stopping when I get to another line, twist. I did this project with another class, and one of the students came up with a little song. This little line of mine, I'm gonna make a line, twist and make a line. I'm gonna make a line, make a line, make a line, make a line. Twist and make a line. I'm gonna make a line. Okay? Hopefully that helps you remember it. Twist and make a line. Okay, now I'm getting real small over here. That's okay. You're gonna see what happens when I get to this section. I'm going to start, this side is going to become eliminated. Okay, this is probably going to be my last line that I make. Now I'm just going to end up with a triangle. So that little section, whoops, is just completely eliminated. So as long as you always remember to twist in the same direction and draw a parallel line and stop when you get to another line, this project really should not be too hard. And if you would want to add a little bit of fun and flavor and color, you could make each section a different color if you wanted to. You could go back and even color in the stripes. I would suggest doing one color per section. For those of you who are good at shading, this project could look really 3D. You'll see in just a second when I'm finished. It almost looks like steps, so you could do the center dark and then slowly get lighter and lighter and lighter as you color. But that would only be if you have a lot of time. Some of you are faster than others, and that is okay. You could also try doing bigger paper. I've never done it on a rectangle, but you could try it on a rectangle instead of a square. Okay, now once I get here, I'm really out of room, and I'm going to say that is my last line. Okay, so you can see how it almost looks like a whole bunch of steps going 3D down to this middle part. And if you would color it really dark red or dark blue, and then slowly as you work your way out, get lighter and lighter. But now go to the next section, do the same thing, make your lines, and then just keep going. Twist and make a line, I'm gonna make a line. Then once you're done with that triangle, you would go over to here, or square, or whatever shape you have. And then when you're all finished, this square is going to be filled with lines and look really cool and really 3D. And people are going to be like, what? How did you do that? And really, it's quite simple, isn't it? Just as long as you stay organized and keep doing that twist. So, yeah, I hope you'll have a little bit of fun making lines and using a ruler and making some line art. Okay, see ya. Hey guys, we're going to make another line art project. For this one, we're going to need the marker, the ruler, the square piece of paper. I am going to make a mark from every corner, 1/4 of an inch. And I'm going from the corner to the right. So now I'm going to twist my paper and go from the corner to the right. Corner to the right. corner to the right. Now I'm going to actually start making some lines. So I'm going to pick this corner and I'm going to draw a line to that mark that I made. So line my ruler up, corner, no, from mark to mark. Okay, now the same thing. So that's the end of this line to this mark. So now we just drew a square that looks like it's kind of tilted within the other square. So I ended here. Now I'm going to do the same thing again. I'm going to measure, a half of an inch, sorry, I misspoke, I said quarter. Half of an inch, make a mark. Measure, half an inch, make a mark. Measure, half an inch, make a mark. And guess what? We're just going to keep going from mark to mark. Half an inch from the corner. I'm always going in the same direction from my corner because it will not work if you suddenly start going left. Okay, and you just like keep going and keep going and keep going until eventually you're going to end up with a square. And once it's about a 1-inch square in the middle, then you may stop and you could make a diamond or something in the middle. But you're going to eventually see that these straight lines turn into a curve. And that is called a parabolic curve. So yeah, just keep going with that half an inch. And it will turn out really cool, and then you'll end up with 4 sections kind of, and if you'd want to do these two and these two the same, and you could color them every other, like color the stripes, and that would look pretty cool. Or you can just leave it black and white. Maybe you're just really love the look of black and white. It's really bold and graphic, and that's okay too. Some people like to color, some people like it black and white. But just make sure that it's nice and neat. Go slow. This is not a race. I'm using Sharpie. I'm not using my pencil beforehand just because I want to save some time. Art is about time management. We don't want to take too long to make this art, but we don't want to rush through it either. And I think this, if you really take your time, you're going to be pretty happy with this project. Okay, can you see that it's already starting to look like a curve, even though all I'm doing is making straight lines? Okay, that's it. Have fun.